When police violence hits the headlines, it's usually a script that we all recognize. But this time the script broke, and that's what we're here to talk about today.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. The government's lies are getting even more brazen about who Renee Good, the 37-year-old mother of three, was and how she died. No one could watch the numerous eyewitness videos of her death and in good faith make the kinds of claims the Trump administration has been making and continues to make. That she was committing domestic terrorism, that she ran over the agent who's now recovering in the hospital, threatening his life, with a maroon Honda Pilot that had stuffed animals flowing out of the glove compartment box. Those claims never rang true. That much was immediately obvious. And it became even more obvious today with the leak of a new video from the confrontation with ICE that led to the shooting death of Good. What we got today was a cell phone recording captured by the man who killed her. It's the first look we have gotten of Renee Good alive and then dead. Was first obtained this afternoon by a conservative website. Hours later, MS Now got its own copy from the Department of Homeland Security, a copy that is roughly 10 seconds shorter than the leaked version and omitted a few key details. So I want to play the longer version for you now, and as we have been the last few days, caution you that it is incredibly disturbing.
Change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car.
Whoa!
Fucking bitch.
That was tough to watch. The female on the passenger side of her SUV was her wife, and we could only see originally the driver's side where the ICE agent approached her vehicle, but you could also tell from that original video that her car was parked across the road, blocking a pathway for other cars to get through or whatever. Playing the it was almost like when she did address the police, she was kind of taunting them, like not being afraid, but like letting them know, like, what's up? What you looking at? I'm not mad. You mad? I ain't mad. That's how I took it. I did not look at that as, or any time there's a police action, surveillance, arrest. If you want to observe, I believe you have the legal and constitutional right to be a witness. If you think something's going on that shouldn't be going on, you should have the right to get close enough to not interfere with their arrests or with their police action, but to be able to, as a citizen, right on the spot, and as long as it's not a safety concern, pay attention to what's going on. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Not at all. But when you go and block traffic, begin putting yourself into the ICE protests, blowing whistles, calling 800 numbers, to get people notified and all of those things. I just feel like for our politicians and to encourage people to go out into the streets and risk their lives like this, not to say that this lady did anything wrong, but not to say that the police did either. In this particular case, we as a nation have been watching this on the news most of our adult lives. I know I have, and I witnessed it growing up as a child in a predominantly black community where a car had been classified as a deadly weapon. Once they classified a car as a deadly weapon, your mode of transportation, as soon as the police has engaged you, is no longer a mode of transportation. It's a projectile or whatever you want to use it for to kill police with or assault them. And that is something that is played in our minds for decades and in our heads and in our reality. But the thing about it is it don't always turn out to be when you go to that trap and open it up, who you were trying to get. So all this militarized policing and heavy-handedness and disrespectfulness and authoritarian type police in a regular civilian setting, but it's so much to this story that I am absolutely 100% positive that this woman would have taken every penny she had and bet that they'd be back at the place slapping high fives and laughing about what they did to the ICE agents. Ha ha ha. And did you? And I don't know if it's just black people or if everybody else in this country is getting the same talk to, but police work is serious. And are there races of people walking around who feel when a police agent tells you to stop your vehicle, you can throw it in reverse and throw it back in drive? And it's obvious that she was doing that to evade the police, maybe not to hit them. I won't go that far because I can't tell what her thought process was. But she was trying to evade the police. Her wife on the other side of the vehicle was actually trying to get that door open. But I think she locked the doors with her attention fixed on this ICE agent approaching her. And it ended up locking out her spouse. So when she took off on that angle, it also shows the side of the car looks like between the mirror on the side mirror and the windshield that someone got like bumped, right? Not run over. And that's the horrible thing, is that Trump's exaggerating too far one way, and then we have the Democrats and the liberal news exaggerating the other way, and exaggerating to the point of where they make people believe that ICE is the enemy and that we need to get them out of our communities, and that what they're doing is murder and what they're doing is wrong. And then they don't expect these people to go out into the street and have bad outcomes like this. You don't think that these white women went out there thinking, I'm not an illegal immigrant, they ain't gonna do that shit to me, and go in there with the completely wrong attitude, instead of just being in a way or finding a way, to participate in this without risking your life. They're absolutely be on your politician, be on your local politicians who have our cities turned upside down, we cannot be fighting for our government to take our tax dollars and do whatever they want with it. We can't fight for that. We have to fight that we have some direction over where this money is going. And if they're willing to just open the floodgates and bring in a bunch of illegal immigrants, then they're not thinking about us. We're not their priority. And then the Republicans come in and they want to implement their thing, and there's this big fight going on. But in the middle of everything, people are really dying, like for real dying. And it's not because of ICE. I don't want ICE to be the topic of this brutality that is taking place, because it's taking place with city cops, with all the cops. And its sad part is it's justified brutality. They have got it in the books, ingrained in our brains, in our minds, that we can go to a bar and get into a conversation about it and debate a winning case on the side of the officer, just based on how it's been beaten into us to accept the fact that when a police come, you basically have to become paralyzed within a couple of seconds or you're going to die. You can't say too much. You can't explain your way out. You're being directed. You may have already pissed him off. He may already be pissed off. But rarely are we in a position to do very much. It's just sit there and take it. And this poor lady is being encouraged by well thought out people, and they're exaggerating on their spin and all that as well. No spin is required. Based on our lives in the United States of America, we know what happened there. We know what the police can do. If you're in a vehicle and you start moving that gear shift knob, it is no longer a vehicle. It's no longer a mode of transportation. It turns into a deadly weapon at that point, because you are ignoring commands from the police officer. As much as we hate to hear it, you hate to hear it. It's sad. The poor lady. But the problem is, as a white person in the United States of America, she doesn't, and being this some kind of action going from the police to the illegal immigrants, she's going to step in and let those police know, well, I'm a citizen. What you going to do to me? You know, that kind of shit. And it ain't the best way to be coming at the police in the United States of America, because primarily they're looking for people that look like me. But there will be people who look like this poor 37-year-old lady, just because she's in the mix. She might be out there defending something that they don't like, or their orders may have been something that we don't know. But I don't see anything on that film that goes very different than what we've been living with as long as I can remember. Police arresting folks on the street, police shooting people on the street. When vehicles are involved, if you're in the driver's seat of a vehicle, it'd be best to try to get that motor turned off, or make sure that there's no motion coming from that car. Keep your foot on that brake, because if a police officer, and they usually do, stand in front of the car to tell you, we're detaining you, you can't leave. It's not the best thing for me. If I was a police, I'd be hollering from behind the car or something. But to do that, and then the car going to drive and inch towards you. We've seen instances over decades of people not hitting the accelerator. Their foot just slipping off the brake pedal, or they're raising it off there. And I don't know what goes through people's heads, but I've seen cars idle moving forward and people get shot and killed. So it's a sad situation, but what it doesn't do for me is it doesn't clarify how come the country is so uncomfortable with this action. And this is what police do all the time to black men, for sure, I can vouch for, but it's how they police. And it's so sad and it's so unfortunate. But if we're serious, let's take these kind of cases and use them to change policing for everyone, not just for white women who decide to go out and get caught up in democratic causes that were, and I hate to see problems created by politicians, and then this is how we have to go down this kind of road to solve them. Absolutely no bloodshed is necessary here at all. Our politicians, if I don't care how they're at each other's throat about what, they should be able to at least agree on both sides. We got to get in there and figure some shit out. We cannot let our constituents go out there and risk their lives, and then we're begging them to vote for us to put us back in office. But then when they do, we need them in the streets. You shouldn't. You need them at work. You need them with their families. You need them paying their taxes. You need them doing the things that we as voters in this country should be doing. And when you get down to the protesting and you're taking people and putting their life at risk because you're making them feel like ICE is like some kind of stormtroopers, that's our federal government police. And if you're going to have people or condition people to have that kind of disrespect for them, what are you going to do if this resolves? What do you do when this resolves? Not if, when. It's going to end. This shit ain't going on forever. And then when it does, then what do you do then? MSNBC, CNN, Democratic politicians who are telling people to disrespect ICE agents. What do you do then? Are you that powerful with them? Do you got their mind? You're going to just come back and say, okay, they gave us what we wanted, or we're okay, or we're cool with them now. You can respect them again. I mean, is that how it goes?
It's how Renee Good lost her life. That is what the government claims was domestic terrorism. So what did you see? Again, I'll let you decide. Here's what I saw. The masked, armed ICE agent who has been identified as Jonathan Ross exits his car. The first thing he sees is Renee Good's dog in the backseat of her Honda. How many domestic terrorists have you seen taking their dogs for a drive out on their operations?
And that is completely ignorant of Donald Trump to call the lady a domestic terrorist, because it's just so mean to call somebody who's out there protesting and doing in their heart what they've been told is correct. and to lose their life doing it because somebody convinced them to believe that those ICE agents are in the wrong, and to go out there and thwart their operation out there is the right thing to do. That's horrible. Anybody who is still going on forward with this should be ashamed of themselves. The best thing you can tell this lady and people like her is to please stay in the safety of your own home. Call your politician, talk to them differently, make them vote differently, push them to pass laws so that this kind of stuff can't happen, so this stuff won't be happening. But to put these people in these kind of situations, I know many videos ago, I told all my black people when this first started to just stay home. Don't go out protesting for the illegal immigrants because it is putting you in a line of fire. It's making you pursue police contact. And we all know that that is not something that you want to do. You want to avoid the police at all costs because it can end up like that. You're standing there with a person who may not be all there mentally, emotionally, or in any other kind of way, or even in a police type way. You just don't know. And you want to be as calm and relaxed and absent from that person's day as possible. That's all I can tell you. That's the best advice I can give you. But as long as the United States citizens, the rest of them, are okay with black people being killed out in the streets by police the way they are, then they're going to always have to deal with this on their own front because that's the level of policing that they're accepting for us. And for the most part, they slip by a lot of that. But these ugly times and these moments when white people argue against white people and things like this occur. And it doesn't happen that often. But when it does, it's a great opportunity for this conversation. And the conversation needs to be, let's change all policing in the United States. All of them are militarized bigots because they're promoting and protecting a system that is racially charged against a certain group of people. And it's unfortunate that no matter who's on the good side or who's on the bad side, our politicians have gotten to the point now where cursing on microphones and, being disrespectful, in my opinion. I didn't think the way the mayor was addressing that crowd was appropriate because he's whipping them up. We seen what Trump did when he whipped that crowd up that he did. Why would you want to whip up a crowd of people or any people listening to you and you're the mayor of Minneapolis? Why in the hell would you want to do that? Wouldn't you want to take it down a notch and let everybody know to go home, pray, talk to your family members, get around people you love, and we're going to work through this as a city. And the ICE agents have a right to be here, and we need to negotiate with the federal agents to see. You just can't be blatantly breaking the federal law like that. And then when a president comes in who has wild ideas that he can legally deploy, he's doing it. He's deploying them. And what are you going to do? You're going to turn people against the ICE agents and make the level of respect go down to the toilet, which increases that person's opportunity to meet death. And I don't think that any politics or anything that you guys are going through is worth it. I'd rather things stay the way they are and we consistently keep at least there's a baseline. We understand what the fuck, and they still don't do it consistently. We still end up, even after complying, falling out, swallow your tongue, whatever you do, it doesn't mean you're going to live. It just means that you complied with the law to the best of what you understood. That's all you can do. And that's all any of us can do. And this lady was kind of taunting the cops a little bit. I'm not mad. I'm not, and it's just not a good practice. The policemen have guns. You don't want to make people mad who have guns. It's not necessary. And for our politicians, once again, to push people to go out and participate in actions like that. That woman's car was blocking traffic, blocking the flow of where these ICE vehicles were going or were heading. And would Any of you feel comfortable doing that? Would you? Would you get in your car if you knew ICE was coming to your town and your ICE, I don't know, what is it, an ICE deployment team or something they put together in the neighborhood, and they got out there, the little task force, and blocked a street? Or maybe more than one, but we're out there with bullhorns and video cameras and all of that. But I tell you what, if something was that near and dear to me that I participated in it, I'd try to make sure that my safety was of the utmost concern. I want to make it back home. And I want to go out there and protest peacefully. And I want the police to be able to go on and do their job and go back home without any injuries as well. I mean, had that woman accidentally run over a police officer, he could be dead. And we'd be having the same conversation. I wouldn't feel any different about the dead police officer or the dead lady in the SUV, because the root cause is the brutality and the policing in this country. And until we address that, we're going to keep having these dumb news stories that stay in the cycle. And the people behind the cameras on the news teams are the ones guiding how the country feels, instead of letting people really think about it for themselves. Well, gee, is that something I do? Would I get in an SUV, because prices went up too high in the supermarket, or because the Asians are getting beat up in the street, or any other reason that you come up with that you feel strong enough to fight? Anything that'll get you out in the street to fight for. Do you think someone could talk you into getting in your car? Hey, those are ICE vans. Block this road right here, buddy. I'll be right back for you in a half hour. Would you block the road and try to, or blow the whistle if they come, or I don't know. I just don't think that our police are patient and calm and kind, and you can get away with shenanigans and playful things like that. They're taking their day very seriously, and their job and their orders, their directives. And it's very important that we do that. We have to take our lives seriously. We can't let somebody else sitting behind a desk talk you into giving yours up, talk you into participating in something in a way that's inappropriate. Not that you shouldn't be helping the illegal immigrants if that's what you believe. You do what you feel you need to do, but do it safely. That's all I'm saying.
It's worth noting that this portion of the video is missing from the version released to us by DHS. You might ask yourself why. Perhaps they don't want people seeing Good's dog in the car. Then we see Ross circle the vehicle while recording, holding his phone to do so. He walks in front of the car. He makes eye contact with Renee Good behind the driver's wheel. This is where she speaks to the man who will end her life, saying, "I'm not mad at you." Ross then circles to the back of the car. He records Good's license plate, and here you can see the rear window stickers for national parks and kennel clubs on her Honda Pilot. He is verbally taunted by a woman who is believed to be Renee Good's wife. After that exchange, she goes to get in the passenger side of the car. Then agents yell at Renee Good to get out of the car. And at this point, Ross again walks in front of the vehicle recording Renee Good. He still has his phone out. The phone is out even as he pulls a gun. The last thing she does is move the wheel to the right before she starts to pull forward. You can see Ross lowering the phone as he fires 3 shots.
And I haven't heard any station, I haven't looked at a lot of Fox News on this side, or for this story, I'm sorry, but I'm looking at a lot of liberal news, and I haven't heard any of them say that she was actually being detained. A ICE agent had his hands on her car, and that would be no different if even myself was walking out of a building and the police grabbed me and I started, jerking away. Hey, let go of me. That's resisting. And if you're in a vehicle and he is requesting that vehicle stays put and you're trying to figure a way to get it out of there, it's what we've been conditioned to accept in this country. And it's something that either needs to change or we're going to continue to have. We cannot continue to do this. We got to be better than this. As a country, we have to also understand if it's unacceptable for it to happen to you, it's unacceptable for it to happen to someone else. So with that kind of thinking, I think we can make things more fair. And I think it's going to take us, the people, to do it, because our government has no intention on making anything any more fair than it is right now. And it's not very fair right now. So with that in mind, it's going to probably have to be up to us. And not be out in the streets fighting against each other and against government authorized agents with guns. That you don't want to be on the other side of that.
Renee Good is shot after her car rolls towards an electric pole and Ross walks alone toward the car. You can hear a voice on the video uttering the words, "fucking bitch."
And that's true, too. I did pick that part up at the end, and I don't know if it was him who said it, and it probably was, as he's the closest to the phone. But I think if you felt you got bumped or brushed by the car, and the car was, you were saying, stop, 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 and this lady's just going anyway to the part of where you had to discharge your firearm, yeah, an expletive could come out of your mouth. I could see that. Just like the mayor of Minneapolis, as I discussed earlier, was saying, ICE, get out of our fucking city. And, you know, I was like, wow, because you're telling the people in the city of Minneapolis that ICE is not welcome there. That's very dangerous, because everybody ain't law abiding. And some people are very easily influenced and manipulated. And saying that kind of thing could lead to the officers' lives being threatened. But if the mayor of Minneapolis can say stuff like that and not walk it back and not come to his senses and not really realize what the big picture is. I ain't never been mayor of no major city, but I would be wanting my people to be calm and let's think this out and let's let the investigation go forward, and let's not let the news influence us into negativity by saying things like the FBI is taking the lead on this. Well, they would. They're the FBI. It'd be kind of hard for them to let the Minneapolis local police, especially when their officer was involved in the shooting. If there's some kind of civil rights action or whatever going on, you know, they got to do what they got to do. You know, when we get shot, sometimes we have to have a black group come in and get involved or try to sue them civilly or for civil right violations. So it might be some recourse or something she can do in that front. But other than that, let's let the law system work through. Let's see what it do. And let's use other case law. Let's see what they do when people take their foot off the brake and put it on the gas pedal and move a vehicle while semi-surrounded by police officers. What could the outcome be? And is the news and are these politicians gaslighting us? And this woman's life don't mean anything to them, or the next one, or the next one, because they're going to keep telling you to do the same dumb shit. And we cannot do that. If you want to get out there and protest, just do, but safely.
We cannot confirm with certainty it is Ross's voice calling the dead woman a fucking bitch. That video was obtained by a conservative website with close ties to the Minneapolis Police Department. Minutes after it was published online, it was retweeted by, I guess, the guy who's doing this full time, Vice President J.D. Vance, who told his followers to watch it because, quote, the reality is that Ross's life was endangered and he fired in self-defense. So they seem to believe this video makes their case for them. Vance is using it to suggest Renee Good was not, quote, an innocent woman. And his sustained campaign to demonize a dead mother of three is so bad his religious faith is being challenged. The National Catholic Reporter yesterday, columnist John Grosso wrote, quote, the vice president's comments justifying the death of Renee Good are a moral stain on the collective witness of our Catholic faith. His repeated attempts to blame Good for her own death are fundamentally incompatible with the gospel. Our only recourse is to pray for his conversion of heart. He's right, it is a moral stain, but it's not the only one. Despite already giving their theory of the case, the Trump administration is still refusing to share evidence with state or local authorities. In an exclusive interview with MS Now's Josh Einiger, the district attorney of Hennepin County, where Renee Good was killed, appealed to the feds to see reason.
I just don't like that kind of talk. It's like you're just lying to people. You're acting like, I mean, they can appeal to the federal government and ask them for anything they'd like. But it is up to the federal government, as it has been on many occasions, to say yay or nay. They may lock it away. They may make these files not available to the public. They may have prefer, if you guys want to try to prosecute this police officer, have a federal trial if there's enough evidence to hold him. If not, there isn't. And if he's convicted, he can be exonerated by Trump in one of his pardons. I mean, it's kind of all for nothing because everybody's all upset and pissed off about something that's going to just happen again. We're not talking about changing the law. We're not changing the way we do things. We just want magic to happen and for this moment to be done differently than all the others have been. But that's not right. This one has to be done exactly like the other ones have been done. So then we realize this ain't right. It really ain't right. And get something done about it.
I think it's in the best interest of all of us, including the federal government, to just be really transparent. Just allow the BCA in on the investigation to at least see what kind of evidence that you have, because I think we would all want that thorough information, the investigation, before we make a decision.
We always do. But if the federal government is involved or find out that it may be a civil rights violation, usually with us, and they come take it over. But for the most part, what difference does it make? Why would it matter now? And she knows, and she's speaking on the right terms. Why don't you be like, give us a solid, be nice to no, because they don't have to do it. And usually they don't. Usually the city, they turn it over. Nobody who cares. Hey, the feds came in and got the files over. Well, okay. But on this particular one, the city of Minneapolis wants to have a war against the ICE agents and the federal government. And every politician who ever sat in Congress and didn't get anything done on immigration ought to be ashamed of themselves. All these years, and you guys got us at this point in 2025. My bad. In 2026, you guys have us at this point. We're in the street dying because our politicians feel that us out there the civil rights movement, people dying. Why do we have to keep going out into the streets for nothing? That we don't get anything that benefits us. We don't move forward in any way. And they can make you feel good with a song or a speech, but the real truth is for real in front of you. You should be able to see that. It's in your hand. It's tangible. It's nothing that they have to explain to you. And they're pissed right now because this lady was going to go out here and clown these ICE agents. I'm a citizen. I'm white. You know what I'm saying? Most people wouldn't block a road. They just wouldn't. And the police, unfortunately, acted consistently. But that's what they do. And they get away with it. And there's way more heartburn going on right now, and it's because it wasn't supposed to happen like this. Police weren't militarized for this. This isn't what that training is for. Why don't they just admit it? Why don't everybody just start talking about it so that we can quit having militarized police?
Now, the Trump administration, I don't think, wants that. Probably because the entire enterprise that brought Jonathan Ross and the rest of those ICE agents to Minneapolis in the first place is fundamentally based on a lie. And it's the lie that Donald Trump ran on. It's the lie that they've continued to push, that the Trump administration is clearing out the most dangerous criminal migrants in America to make those communities safer. I want you to look at this analysis because it's pretty important. According to analysis, the available data yesterday by political researcher Austin Kocher, almost all of new ICE detainees held since last September, 92% have no criminal convictions. Those masked men with the guns running roughshod are picking up random people.
I don't know why it's important for us to keep keying on the fact that a lot of the people who are in this country illegally have no criminal history. And that's a good thing. They want to be citizens of the United States. It's not their fault that our Congress can't make up their mind and make this happen in a way for a significant portion of them. If they got jobs and they're working and we get them citizenship and then they have different rights at work than obviously they have right now, then maybe it would be wonderful for them to get citizenship and not be used. And you got people out here calling Trump fascists, but the Democrats aren't. The Democrats are the ones behind the companies that are hiring the illegal immigrants and abusing them. It's both of them. That's why they can't agree, because if they agree, it's going to cost somebody some more money. And it's going to be somebody who's been stuffing money in their campaign coffers. So to tell the truth, it's both of them working together to keep things the way they are. And neither one of them will shed a tear for this unfortunate soul that was lost by a system that was set up by both of them, and will not be defended in a way that is going to move us forward. It'll be fought, and they will have a spat, and it'll go by. And we'll be right where we are right now the next time this happens. Like, comment, share. Please subscribe. Pray for all the families that are losing their family members to any law enforcement agency in the whole country. It's an unjust system. It's a way of policing your citizens that is absolutely unnecessary and targeted for a particular group. And everybody in the entire country has an idea that it is, but when it comes their way, then they know they want to tell the police sergeant, hey, this wasn't for us. What's my son doing in there? What's my son doing bleeding? Or why'd he go to the hospital? Well, sometimes the cops get a little bored. And ain't as many blacks running around as they used to be. So, some of the other people have to absorb some of the licks from the stick. And we are just scarce. Shit, we all over the place. Man, I go in buildings now, and I live in the same general state, in the portion of the state that I grew up in. And I just look at how many black families, how many black neighborhoods, full black neighborhoods. As a group, we should be getting bigger, not smaller. And now you go in stores, you go in malls, you go out to eat, and you can count most black people who are in those same places and spaces. You can count them on one hand pretty much. It's like, where have we gone? How have we gotten so thin? Or, I don't know. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. It's something that I think, we all need to be paying attention to. You see another black person, wave at them, shit, be friendly, be nice. And remember that we are all family. And that goes outside of being black. All of us are family. And that's why we can't have all this killing. And we should not have police brutalizing people the way they do at their discretion. I personally believe that police officer followed his training. And I think Trump and them are excited about it because it looks textbook to them. And it's unfortunate, because if that's what my fucking textbook looked like, I'd be very upset. Very upset. Catch you on the next Black Popcorn.